Story Coast Doctor Famous, who topped social media platforms during the last year, loaded with horrific details regarding his murder at the hands of his hometown colleague, a lawyer and a nurse, and his body was buried in a clinic in the Sahel area in Cairo, hoping to get some money from him. If you are new to this channel, please subscribe. Full story of the killing of the coastal doctor. Exciting details in the killing of the coast doctor. Dr. Osama Sabor, an orthopedic doctor at Nasser Institute Hospital, who was killed by his colleague, Dr. Ahmed, the orthopedic doctor in the same hospital, with the help of the lawyer of the accused, doctor's wife, and the assistant nurse for the latter, and they buried him inside the clinic of the first accused in the Sahel area in Cairo, then fled and hid from their crime. But the Ministry of Interior's apparatus was on the lookout for them. As they dropped 3 errands, they confessed to the crime of killing Dr. Osama Sabor in detail. The murder of the coastal doctor, Dr. Osama Sabor, began since his absence from his home, when the security services of the Cairo Security Directorate received a notification from the Coast Police Department stating that a person's family had reported his absence from the house on the 6th of June. Immediately, the Cairo Security Services formed a research team to uncover the circumstances of the incident and the investigations of the General Directorate of Cairo. Investigations revealed that the absent person was named Osama Tawfiq Sabor, 30 years old, from Sharqiya Governorate, Egypt, an orthopedic doctor at the Nasser Institute. At the beginning of the report, the security services of the Cairo Security Directorate examined the victim's relations department, the orthopedist, the Nasser Institute, and searches were made regarding his recent observations, as well as the record of recent calls on the victim's phone, until the identity of the victim's friend and his hometown, Dr. Ahmed, and the Coast Investigation Department reached his private clinic, where it was revealed from the surveillance cameras that the Dr. Osama Sabor arrived in the vicinity of the clinic, entered the property and then disappeared. The plan to detect those accused of killing the coastal doctor in Daluf to the clinic's headquarters in the Sahel region. The security services in Cairo did not find the doctor, and by conducting examinations and searches, the investigation and forensic teams found the thread that revealed the entire crime, as it was found that there were modern linoleum on the floors of the clinic, and from one of the stains inside a room in the clinic of the accused doctor, the linoleum was removed, as it was found that the tiles and building materials present were modern, and by lifting them and digging in the room, the body of a person was found in a state of putrefaction, and it was transferred to the refrigerator at the disposal of the public prosecution in Cairo. The efforts of the security services at the Cairo Security Directorate revealed that the Dr. Ahmed Sheikh, the friend of the victim, a lawyer, and the third accused who works as an assistant to the doctor. The first accused, as the investigation teams tracked the defendant's itineraries, and the investigations of the Cairo Security Services revealed their escape following committing the crime of killing the Dr. Osama Sabor and burying him inside the clinic. Cairo Security Services, in coordination with the public security sector and the security directorates of Minya, Sohag and Kalubia, managed to arrest the 3 suspects. Following, they fled to 3 different governorates. After legalizing the procedures, 3 security missions were dispatched to the governorates, where the Ministry of Interior's agencies were able to arrest the first accused, an orthopedic doctor in a residential apartment in Minya Governorate, and the second accused, a lawyer in her family's home in Kalubia, and the third accused, the accused doctor's assistant, in apartment in Sohag, and took them to Cairo to start investigations with them, where the necessary report was issued and the public prosecution in Cairo was notified to investigate them. Confessions of the defendants in the coastal doctor case. The public prosecution office in Cairo launched investigations into the case of the killing of the coastal doctor, Dr. Osama Sabor, as it ordered the assignment of forensic medicine to find out the reasons for the doctor's killing and authorize the burial following the issuance of his anatomical report. Likewise, the 3 accused were imprisoned for 4 days, pending investigations with them. The public prosecution in Cairo heard the confessions of the 3 defendants, as the first accused, Ahmed, an orthopedic doctor at the Nasser Institute, that he is a colleague of the victim doctor, and from the same town as his town, in Sharkia Governorate, and they have a friendship relationship, and that he is aware of the wealth of the victim doctor and his family, as he laid a scheme to lure him, and then bargained with his family, to pay him a sum of money in exchange for his release, and told the second accused his martyrdom was involved in the scheme, and he asked her to lure his colleague, and then detain him to obtain money from him, and bargain with his family, over the ransom demand. Indeed, the second accused, a lawyer, carried out the scheme, called the doctor's phone, and lured him, then gave him an anesthetic injection, following which he died. He was thinking of dividing his body to get rid of it, but he bought building materials from a store and buried the victim's body under the floor in the clinic. The second accused, a lawyer, also made her confessions before the prosecution, where she indicated that there was a relationship between her and the first accused of customary marriage, and that he had promised her to announce the marriage more than once, but he was waiting to pass through his financial crisis. Then he informed her of a plan to lure the victim, Dr. Osama Sabor, and obtain from him on money, and indeed she contacted him and lured him. And as soon as he arrived, I put an anesthetic in the juice for him. Then the first defendant, the doctor, gave him an anesthetic injection, following which it became clear that he had died of a heart attack. A hole in one of the rooms, and they put the body in it, then put the tiles back on, put the linoleum on, and ran away. The mother of the coastal doctor, he told me to pray for me, my mother. The third defendant, the accused physician's assistant, said in his confessions before the prosecution that Dr. U asked him to help him carry the victim, Dr. Osama Sabor, and following giving him an anesthetic injection and his death, he asked for his help in digging and preparing to get rid of the body, where they dug inside a room in the coast clinic and put the body of the victim in it, the doctor of the Nasser Institute. Then they closed the hole. He laid the tiles once more, and then put linoleum on the clinic's tiles to hide the features of the crime, and fled to Sohag. The opposition judge in the North Cairo court renewed the detention of the three defendants, a doctor at the Nasser Institute, a lawyer, and a doctor's assistant, for 15 days pending investigations with them, accusing them of killing Dr. Osama Sabor and burying him inside the coastal clinic, and the victim's family received his body, where his body was buried, to his final resting place, in his hometown in the Hia Center in the Sharkia Governorate, amid a state of sadness among his relatives and friends, who all testified to the good morals of the victim, Dr. The mother of Dr. Osama Sabor, a coastal doctor, revealed the details of the last call between her and her son, as he called her on Friday, June 2, 2023, and told her that he had barely finished his work, and at the end of the call he asked her to pray for him, indicating that he was in agreement with a friend of his to buy a suit to attend the wedding of one of their friends on Monday, June 5, 2023, but he suddenly disappeared. In the end, the two people were sentenced.